Yeah, this is the problem that we shall start with. Fine. Now, what is being asked? We have to be finding the DTFT of the rectangular pulse. What is a rectangular pulse? See here, the signal is rectangular pulse. Fine. How to make out whether this is rectangular pulse or not? So this is x of n is 1. Okay. For magnitude of n less than or equal to m. So how to read this magnitude of n is the question. Okay, so this is short form of representing the range over which this x of n is 1. This is the short form. What is the full form? What is the long form? Or how to expand this form so that it becomes more understandable? See here, if it is magnitude n less than or equal to m, it means that, okay, the range of x of n over which it is 1 is from minus m to plus m, minus capital M to plus capital M. Understand that? In other ways, it is n less than or equal to m or n greater than or equal to minus m. You can read it that way. And beyond that, for n greater than m or for n less than minus m, it is 0. So you have to once attach, as it is, you have to attach plus sign. That means n less than or equal to plus m and n greater than or equal to minus m. Yeah. Manish says something. Manish, you have anything to say? You can unmute yourself and you can say that if you have anything to say. Okay. Now, yeah. Let's see how to do this. So we understand this is the uh, equation we have to find the DTFT, which is very similar to the equation we had to find out the Z transform of a discrete time signal. Okay, so what is Z here? Z is e power j omega. Understand that? Z is e power j omega here. Fine. So x of Z we used to write, and we used to say Z to the power minus n. So in place of Z, if you put e power j omega, it becomes the equation for DTFT. Okay. So now let's substitute x of n here, which is 1 from minus m to plus m. Here x of n, this is small x, this. Okay. This x of n is 1 from minus m to plus 1. That is what is the meaning of this. So you should be able to read this properly. Fine. Yeah. Here, so this is x of n is 1 and it is 1 from minus m to plus m, and let's have this exponential as it is. Now, this is, if this is n equal to minus m, so this would be n plus m equal to 0. This here it should be 0. Okay, n plus m equal to 0. So let's, is equal to 0 is missing here. Okay, see that if you are noting it down. Okay, so see, if you take this m minus m onto the left hand side, it would become n plus m equal to 0. Equal to 0 is missing. So, and then you have to just substitute n plus m as l. So if you substitute n plus m, as this is 0 is missing here, just note that. Okay, so that n plus m would become l, and when this n plus m becomes l, what would this n be? Here n would be l minus m. So that is why this n is substituted as l minus m. I hope you have understood. This minus m is taken. Why we are doing this? Because I need to bring this summation to a standard form. What is the standard form? It can be from 0 to infinity, or it can be from 0 to a finite number. So anyways, m is a finite number. Okay, and I don't want this to be again a number. Let's start this from 0, because that is when I get the standard summation. Okay, so to have this as 0, this minus m is being shifted to left, so it would become n plus m equal to 0. Fine. And when this becomes 0, what you're doing, this n would become l minus 1. Now, very important thing that you need to understand, how did this become 2m? See here, how did this become 2m? That needs to be understood. How to do that? So see, this is when this was infinity, we were not bothered. We were not bothered about the upper limit. Okay, till now, okay, in many of the problems, let's go back and see such problems. In see here, this is anyways 0 to 5, so there's no problem here. Yeah, no, this is here also 0 to infinity directly we get that, and not here, not even here. So we need to search for a problem where we'll have a term here which we take to the left hand side. No, it's not that problem is not. Maybe in the next few problems we'll be getting that. I'll explain you it then. Okay. So till now we were very comfortable to do this. See here. If this is 0 to 5, what needs to be done? So this needs to be 0 for me. Okay. Now, so to have this lower limit 0, we took it to the left hand side. But there is a m. Now earlier it was going from minus m to m. Okay. Now if it goes from 0 till what value it should go? We need to think that if this is infinity, this part will not come. I repeat again. Okay. This will go from minus m to m. But if you want this to be 0, you're dragging it back or you're pushing it further. You're pushing it further. You're pushing it further from where to where? If I want this to be 0, if I want this lower limit to be 0, from minus m, you have to come to 0. That means m times you are shifting right. When you shift to the right m times, okay, what should this upper limit be? This upper limit be what? This is being shifted by m times to the right. If it has to be 0, okay, see here, if it has to be 0, okay, it is being shifted to the right by plus m times. Understand that this n is being shifted to the right by plus m times. That means this would become 2m. So this is one such problem wherein the upper limit would also get shifted. This we shifted from minus m to 0. Since it is being shifted from minus m to 0, this has to be also shifted, okay, by m units. So that would become 2m. So this is a little tricky. Okay, so you need to remember this. This is not as the other problems. Maybe in next few problems, I'll be getting that example. Maybe I'll refer to it then. Fine. So now it is in standard form. Which standard form it is? See here. So you just arrange this properly. So this is L is running, right? So exponential having m has got nothing to do. Okay, so bring that exponential out, which is not a function of L, and keep the function of L inside the summation. Okay, now this summation is in the standard form. What is that standard form? See here, this is the standard form. Understand that? So it is going from 0 to n, alpha power n, and when it is this, when it is 0 to infinity, what? When it is 0 to infinity is 1 by 1 minus alpha. But when it is 0 to capital N, it is 1 minus alpha to the power n plus 1 divided by 1 minus alpha. So this used to be 1. The numerator used to be 1 if this is infinity, if the upper limit is infinity. But now the upper limit is a finite number. So when this is a finite number and when the lower limit is 0, this is the formula because alpha is not 1. If alpha is 1, what? If alpha is 1, it is 1 to the power n. So how many times this 1 is being added? It is being added from 0 to 1. So at 0th sample we have 1, at first sample there is another 1, at second sample we have another 1, till nth sample we have 1. So how many ones we have? We have n plus 1 1. So the sum of this, if suppose this alpha is 1, it would be n plus 1. But that is not the case. Alpha, this is not 1. This exponential is not 1. Okay, that's why this is what is going to be applied. So when you apply that, this is how it is going to look like. So it is n plus 1. What is n here? 2m is a capital N. In place of n we have 2m. So they say n plus 1, so it has to be 2m plus 1. So tricky thing is this. If you don't understand, okay, just go back here and see this problem. There is a equal to 0 which we need to take care of. Fine. Now let's move on to another problem. Fine. This is x of n half power n u of n minus 4. So can anybody tell me the range of this signal? What is the range of this signal? So there are two functions of n. One is half power n, another one is u of n minus 1. So when there is already a function of n, these u of n's or the shifted versions of u of n's would act as the range defining functions. Okay, so this is defining the range of half power n. So where do you think this u of n minus 4 ranges? From where to where? It ranges from 4 to infinity. U of n starts from 0. So u of n minus 4 is being shifted, is being shifting the u of n to the right side by 4 units. So from 0 it comes to 4. So it is ranging from plus 4 to infinity. So this half power n ranges from plus 4 to infinity. So that is what is the catch here. So you need to understand that. Okay, so the same formula for DTFT. Okay, just substitute this signal in place of x of n. Fine. Now see here, this is 4 to infinity. Why it is 4 to infinity? Because u of n minus 4 ranges from 4 to infinity, plus 4 to infinity. So it is plus 4 to infinity is going. So over that range, u of n minus 4 is 1. So this is replaced by 1. And where it is 1, it is 1 from 4 to infinity. So that part is taken care of in this step. Fine. Now what's happening here? There are two functions of n. Club this and make as one term to the power n. Okay. So that is what is the next step we have. Both the terms have got to the power n. Okay. So bring that as common to the power n. Okay. Combine the terms and say this looks like this, because I want a power n form. A power n form. Okay. So that's why we have expressed this in to the power n form. Now, here we know if it is 0 to infinity, a power n, it is 1 by 1 minus a. Everybody understand that? This is something that we have seen many a time, so you should not have any problems understanding this. So if it is 0 to infinity, a power n, summation of 0 to infinity a power n, it is 1 by 1 minus a. Okay. A is less than 1, obviously. Now, what if this lower limit is some finite number? Anyways, the upper limit is infinite. Okay, if it is starting from a finite number, not 0. See why we are dealing that it is not 0 to infinity. We're all aware what happens if it is 0 to infinity. Okay, so that is this. If it is 4 to infinity, it is some finite number. Yes, it's some finite number. So there is a finite number. If it is a finite number, what we need to do? It's a power n 1 minus a. What's happening? Tell me here. So in this place also, if you see this equation, n is 0, right? This small n is 0. The initial value is 0. So it's a power 0. This numerator is a power 0. So that is why it becomes 1. Here the lower limit is capital N. That's why it is a power capital N. So this is a power 0 here. It is a power capital N here. So that's why this particular equation now is being written as this. Okay. Understand that, everybody? So this is quite a simple problem. Yes, provided you know this standard summation. This is the, you should not be having any problems with this. But if you have a finite number here, yes, you need to write a power n in the numerator. These are all simple problems because you already are aware of the summations, which we have learned in detail when we were learning or when we were solving the problems on Z transforms. Okay, so let's move on with the next problem. So it's all about identifying the range of the given signal. What is the range of this given signal? You have 2 power n u of minus n, and again this u of minus n is defining the range of 2 power n. Okay, so let's see how it goes. Let's bring in 2 power n u of minus n in place of x of n. That is what is done. X of n is substituted here. Now these limits need to, where do you think u of minus n is 1? U of minus n is 1 from where to where? It is 1 from minus infinity to 0. U of minus n is 1 from minus infinity to 0. That's why this is done. N from minus infinity to 0, u of minus n is 1. So that is what is done here. Get that point? Now, there are again two terms with the power n. Combine those. Fine. And they're saying put m is equal to minus n. Why is this being done? Why is this being done? See, there is a minus infinity, and in no standard summation we find minus infinities. Okay, it's all 0 to infinity or some number to infinity, but we have never dealt with a standard summation which deals with minus infinity. So to get rid of this minus sign in this infinity, what we are doing, this n is being replaced by minus m, or say m is minus n. So what happens? So this becomes minus n, m is minus n. So this is n, right? This is n. So minus n would become plus n here. Everyone understand? So to get rid of this minus sign, what is being done? M is being replaced by minus n. So this is minus infinity, it would become plus infinity because we need minus n in this place. And minus 0 is anyways 0. So it would look like infinity to 0. But yes, here you need to be a little careful. If m is minus n, n would be minus m, and this n would again be minus m. That's why this minus sign in the exponential is eliminated, because this n is substituted as minus m. So that minus would vanish. That minus would cancel this minus which is existing in the previous step. Okay, so very simple steps. So yes, you need to be little careful regarding how to bring the summation to the standard form. Now we can easily interchange the limits of summation that will not have any changes. Okay, so this is what is done. So we have clubbed the terms with the common power m. Fine. So this is in the standard form. Why it is in the, why we wrote this as this 1 by 1 minus a. See, this is 1 by 0 to infinity, and this is a, and this is not 1. Okay, this obviously would be less than 1. Okay, that's why it's 1 by 1 minus a standard form. That's why it is written as 1 by 1 minus this. Okay, and how did they do this? Since they have 2 inverse here, take this as 1 by 2, take the LCM, you will get your DTFT to be this. So quite simple problems. Okay, so you should you would enjoy this if you solve, because they're all simple enough. Yes, only thing is you need to be good enough to understand the range defining functions, u of minus n in this place, then u of n plus 4 in the previous case. So if you understand that, your dealing with the summation would become good. Now see here, you have n plus 4. You have in the previous case it was u of n minus 4, so it is u of n plus 4. What is the range of u of n plus 4? U of n plus 4 is 1 from where to where? So u of n plus 4 is shifting u of n to the left. Okay, u of n starts at 0. So u of n plus 4 is being shifted to the left. So u of n plus 4 would start at n equal to minus 4. So the range of u of n plus 4 is minus 4 to infinity. So that is something that one needs to understand, otherwise you will not be able to solve the problem. Okay, again same equation, the equation for DTFT, substitute x of n. So after substitution it looks like this. Now u of n plus 4 is 1 from minus 4 to infinity. That's why in the next place we have done this minus 4 to infinity. Understand that? Now I want 0 to infinity stuff. How to make this 0? How to make this 0? So you have to add plus 4 to this. You can add plus 4. That is one way of looking at it. Or you can bring this minus 4 onto the left hand side. So it would look like n plus 4 equal to 0. Okay. So that means you are adding plus 4 here. So adding plus 4 here would also mean adding plus 4 here. And when you add plus 4 to infinity, there will not be any change. So this is the case I was talking about. When the upper limit is infinity, you need not have to take care of this unit. But in the previous case where we had that as capital M, where here, see here, in this case, so it is n plus m equal to 0. So since this is finite value, okay, so this also needs to be shifted to the right. So when it is being shifted to the right, okay, so see it's adding plus m, so it's as good as adding plus m to this. Fine. So it's the idea of getting this as 0, the lower limit to be 0. So how is that dealt with? Okay. So they have just clubbed these two. Fine. And okay, this 2 power n is also over, right? This is the problem. Yeah, this is the problem. Okay. So I want 0 here. So what is the function they have done? They just brought this minus 4 onto the left hand side. So it would become n plus 4 equal to 0. Okay. So since this is infinity, we need not have to bother. Fine. Okay. Let's bring this as one variable. Okay. N plus 4 is there. Let's bring it as one variable. What is that variable? So they have taken n plus 4 as m. When n plus 4 is m, what is n? N would be m minus 4. So this n would be m minus 4. Okay. So wherever n is there, we substitute m minus 4. Okay. And wherever n plus 4 is there, that would become m. So this we have tried bring to the standard summation form. So that is 0 to infinity stuff. Fine. Now there are multiple terms which have got no job within this summation. So that is the functions without functions which have, the entities which are not functions of m. So bring that out of the summation. So for 1 by 4 minus to the power minus 4 is there. 1 by 4 to the power minus 4. It is as good as 4 to the power 4. So bring that 4 to the power 4 out. Similarly here, e power minus j omega into minus 4 is there. So it would become e power j omega 4. So that also is brought out. So what is left? So it's 1 by 4 to the power m is left inside, and this function of m, the exponential, is left inside. So club those two to get this standard form. Okay, the standard form is there. This summation is going from 0 to infinity. So it's 1 by 1 plus a. So this is a now. Okay. So x of e power j omega looks like this. 4 to the power 4 is 256 e power j omega. So that is there. So this summation is 1 by 1 minus this term. Where did this number come from? This is 4 to the power 4. Okay, so it's in the numerator you have 1, right? So 1 into this is this divided by 1 minus 1 by 4 times e power minus j omega. That's written in the denominator. Fine. Okay, let's go on with the next problem. That is finding the dt of t of this signal. Very similar signals we have been taking. Okay, whatever signals we have seen for finding the z transforms, the same set of signals are being considered for finding out dt of t also. Okay, so what is the thing that is tricky here? It's not given directly. Okay, again, it's a smart way of representing the signal. Okay, or it's a short form of representation. Fine. What is a power magnitude n? What is magnitude n indicating there? The magnitude n here, see here, the magnitude n is indicating that this x of n ranges from minus infinity to plus infinity. That means this n will have all negative values, Also all positive values along with 0. Okay, so how I can represent this signal is the first thing that you need to understand. This anyways is the equation for DTFT. Okay, so let's substitute this here. Now what is this a power n, a power magnitude n? That is this. I told you this n should have all the negative values and the value starting from 0 to infinity. So when this assumes negative value, okay, this particular signal would be ranging from minus infinity to minus 1, because it's all negative values of n. Which are the negative values of n? Minus infinity to minus 1, and which is the signal that uh, exists as 1 from minus infinity to minus 1? That is this. So what is this doing now? This is telling us that a bar minus n exists from minus infinity to minus 1, and this u of n is telling us that this a power n exists from 0 to infinity. So this is from minus infinity to minus 1, so this is from 0 to infinity. So both together cover the whole range of n, that is minus infinity to plus infinity. So this is such a signal. Now bring this a power n into the summation, just substitute that. Okay, and for each term you bring the summation separately. Fine, and now change the limits of summation here. From where to where? This is 1. U of minus n minus 1 is 1 from minus infinity to minus 1, and u of n is 1 from 0 to infinity. So those changes will happen here. That is what has happened. Now this is in standard form, there is no bothering about this, but yes, we need to adjust these so that we can get this summation into a standard summation. Okay, now let's see how it works out. So what is done here? Minus, these minus are gone, so that means n is being replaced by minus n, or minus n is being replaced by n. That's it. Okay, I just want to get rid of this minus, means you multiply minus to this n, so it would become plus infinity to plus 1. Okay, so plus infinity to plus 1 can be written as 1 to infinity, not a problem. Interchanging this would not make any harm. Okay, and here since n is being multiplied by minus 1 here, so this minus n would become plus n. Okay, and this also, this minus n would also become plus n. That is why it is written like this. Okay, so this is still not in the standard form, mind you. This particular term is still not in the standard form, whereas this is already in the standard form. Okay, so if you can handle that properly, so it looks like this. Again, this is not dealt in detail. So what can be done here? You can say, you can bring this one onto the left hand side, so it would become n minus 1. Okay, so n minus 1 is equal to 0 to infinity. So n minus 1 can be written as some variable m. Okay, so deal with this summation yourself, because the similar problems you've done in the previous examples. Take that and see how it becomes this, and this is not going to be a problem. This is fine. So what is the standard form? So since this is 1, okay, the initial is 1. I told you, if this is 0, it is this to the power 0. If this is 1, it is this to the power 1. So this is not, you do not have to do that, taking it to the left. Okay, so this again is the standard form which we discussed. If this is a non-zero number, what happens? So this is what is going to happen. Okay, that's a standard form again, which you can easily understand. Fine. So you can take the LCM and rearrange this so that you can have this cosine term also. That means the complex exponential terms are there. If you take the LCM and rearrange the terms properly, you can express that in terms of sinusoidals. Okay, so do that part yourself. Okay, so it would be a good exercise for you to learn things. Fine. Now, let's take another problem, that is to find out the dt of t of this sinusoidal signal, which is again multiplied with alpha power n. Okay, so this is alpha power n into the sinusoid. Fine. So let's see how it works out. And what is the range of this? What is the range of this signal? The range of this signal is 0 to infinity. Okay, so bring in x of n here. Okay, and since this u of n is 1 from 0 to infinity, let's substitute this u of n as 1, and the limits would become 0 to infinity, the range rather. Okay, now this sinusoidal is expressed in terms of the complex exponential. This is how the sine omega naught n can be expressed. Okay, and just combine all this. Alpha power n needs to be there. So we'll have two summations. This 2j can be taken out because it has got nothing to do within the summation. Okay, and combine these two exponential and one summation along with that. These two exponentials and one summation along with that. Okay, that is how the terms are arranged. Fine, and all the exponentials along with this alpha have n in their power. Okay, so take that n common as the power n. Fine. Now, these two are in standard forms. See, this also goes from 0 to infinity. This also goes from 0 to infinity because u of n was associated with both the terms. Fine. So this is 1 by 1 minus a types. Fine. And again, if you take the LCM and rearrange the terms, this can be expressed again in terms of the sinusoidals. Understand this? So this is how the thing go. These are all quite simple problems. Yeah, they may grow in length, but they're not difficult to deal with. They're all very similar problems. Right? So you should not have any problems dealing with these signals when they ask you to find out the DTFT. Fine. So let's have this problem now. Okay, so that is x of n, dt of t of x of n, which is given in this form. Fine. So what is this x of n? This x of n is 1 at minus 3, minus 2, and 2, and it is minus 1 at 3. You have just 4 samples. Fine. So x of n is a signal which is consisting of 4 samples. X of n is 1 at minus 3, minus 2, and 2, and it is minus 1 at 3. Fine. So how to deal with this, we will see in the next session. Okay. Yeah, we will stop the session here. Fine.